Our speaker tonight has come all the way down to us from up north in Independence. And I'm so grateful that he has. And he has spent most of his career as an educator and all sorts of things in different areas, principal and assistant principal and ninth grade science and directed plays, and just one of these wonderful educators who can just do it all and impact lives that way. His military training, 1943, 1945, and he's going to tell us about that in just a moment. Before he does, Larry brought us the national anthem again. So if we'd rise for that, and then Wes, if you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm losing.
We will hear your story.
I guess it's my duty to lead the pledge, right? Let's do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I could tell this is a military group. Now, how do I know you're a military group? You're all spread out. You know, keep a distance, stay out, don't bunch up, stay out. We got 150 seats, and they're all spread out. And I imagine there's a reason for it. I don't know what it is, but there must be a reason for doing it. Well, this is, I don't even know how to title this, and I don't even know what I told Elizabeth when she said, what's the title? What are you going to talk about? Well, oh, by the way, how many are World War II veterans? Just the two of us? Oh, great. The rest of them, no. I kind of make it sound better than what it is or bigger. Don't say, no, we never did that. Oh, good. The rest of you, worst thing you can do is talk to a group of World War II guys because they're constantly going, no, we didn't do that. Well, so this story is, I wasn't in the Army that long. I was in high school when the war broke out. Independence High School, back then, population of Independence about 3,500. I was at Independence High School. My high school class, there were 17 of us in the class of 1942. I'd like to have you know, I was in the top 10. But it was interesting. The class before me, 41, there were 34. The class after me, where my wife was, then we had 36. There was something, I didn't ever trace it back. There was something bad about that year that we only ended up with 17 in our class. So you start your senior year, which is supposed to be very exciting. A lot of memories in your senior year. I was really I liked school to begin with, and I was looking for that senior year. Well, we could see by the time we were in sophomores, it didn't take much imagination to know that this is going bad, and it's going from bad to worse. Hitler's just just taking over the whole Europe. He's moving it. He'll be in England, and the next thing you know, it's going to be us. So we started off that year kind of on a downer. Then it really got down because they start rationing. Gas, tires, food, name it. Everything was rationed. So here we are. You can't even get a gallon of gas in your car to take your girlfriend out because you don't have any stamps. It was kind of weird. It's kind of ruined that senior year for me. But I graduated. And before I graduated, of course, everybody knew that we're getting into war. And then, of course, on December 7th, 1941, in our senior year, we got into war. So they were saying, hey, don't go to the draft. Don't wait for the draft. Because you get in the draft, you're going to go in the Army. And you go in the Army, you're going to be carrying a rifle, you're going to be an infantryman. Don't get drafted. What you want to do now is enlist. So, well, that's not a bad idea, I guess. So they said, the Navy, a couple of guys in my class, one went in the Navy, one went in the Air Force. At that time, it was called the Army Air Force. It wasn't, it isn't the United States Air Force, Army Air Force. So I started thinking about it. I thought, well, how about the Navy? And I thought, I've been out on Lake Erie fishing a few times, and every time I went out, I got seasick. I must have been out there 4 times. I got not violent, but seasick. I don't feel well, and I'm not having a lot of fun out here. And so I thought, you're in the Navy, you're on the sea. Besides, if you go overboard or something happens, it's 2 miles deep. Holy folks, I don't want to fall in the water where it's 2 miles deep. The Air Force sounded that had appeal, zoom there, boy, I can see myself there in a fighter, just like what is the beagle in the paper there, that when he's, I could see that flying. Oh, that sounds dramatic. But then I figured, how could I get in? How would I ever qualify as a pilot? Went to Independence High School. I didn't even take a college preparatory course. I just graduated. So no, I don't think so. Besides, when you're up there and if something goes wrong, it's now 35,000 feet down, 2 miles in the water, 35,000 feet in the air. That doesn't sound too appealing. Then, of course, you got the Marines. And the Marines, I saw all those posters. And you see that guy's got that white hat, that uniform on. He's as straight and out and as handsome as you could be with a big, tough jaw. And I thought, this doesn't look like me. I can't see myself doing that. Besides, I'm 5'9" and a half and 140 pounds. I don't think that was, the Marines would have taken you. No, I think I'll try my luck with the Army. I think I'll try my luck with the draft and see what that works out. Now, I told you, you think, how could this guy, if he's a principal of a high school, and he can't even open up a bottle of water, why does he get dry mouth? I don't know. It just happens. Thank you very much. Oh, geez. That's okay. So I waited and got drafted. And we assembled in the terminal tower lobby. About 250 of us down there. I took our pictures. I was an only child, by the way. You probably guessed that. I bet this guy's an only child, the way he talks. My mother took care of me. All my socks were in the drawers. Everything was fine. What do you want for supper tonight? I'm in the Army. So we go to Fort Hays. And there I am down there, first time, kind of away from home, really. And I'm with 25 guys, and they're all together, and where's my mommy? What am I supposed to be doing here? Okay, the issue is our uniforms and everything else. And then second day, we're down there one day. The next day, they said, now tomorrow morning at 0800, you're going to meet down there in the big cafeteria, and we're going to test you. Now, you do the best you can on this. This is very important. We're going to test you. Didn't say for what, just test you. And what it was, the Army Alpha test, which is an IQ test. That's all it was. And it was a really long, complicated kind of a test. And everybody, the first day, I think I slept about 2 hours all night. My first night away from home, sleeping in a barracks. Oh, geez. I didn't feel I was equipped to be taking a test that early in the morning. But I took the test. Okay, and so then we were interviewed by a captain. At least I was. there were about 200 of us down there. This cracks me up. At the interview, one-on-one, we're going there and he asked you a lot of just general questions. How old are you? Where'd you go to school? Blah, 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 blah. And then he finally says, do you like girls? I said, yeah, I like girls. Back then, there was no such thing as gay. There was no such thing as, He said, do you like girls? Yeah, I like girls. Do you like boys? Whoa, no, wait a minute. Then I'm starting to think, yeah, I remember. We used to call those guys queers, not gays. They were, this guy's queer. And I said, yeah, I like boys, but I like girls better. Oh, okay, that's good. Then the next question was, what are your hobbies? I said, I really don't have any. I didn't collect stamps, and I didn't make model airplanes. I just like to fish and hunt. And I could tell, oh, that's bad. I could see his eyes. You like to hunt? I said, yeah. He said, what do you hunt? I said, well, I hunt small game, rabbits, squirrels, pheasants. He said, do you like guns? Now, what am I going to say? No, I don't like guns. I hunt with a spear. I said, yeah, I like guns. Boom, bam, infantry. That was it. Because they told me, if you get in the infantry, or if you get in the army, you don't have to get necessarily in the infantry. They got all kinds of stuff, engineers, and they got medics, and they got truck drivers, and they got cooks, and they, you're not, bam, bam, infantry. I ended up in the 97th Division down in Bastrop, Texas. Beautiful downtown Bastrop, Texas is about 20 miles in. And we started our basic training, and I was in H Company, 2nd Battalion. H is a heavy weapons company. 81 millimeter mortars, 30 caliber water-cooled machine guns, called Browning Automatic A1. A1 means like it's now World War II, but it's the same gun they used in World War I. We're shooting the same machine gun they had in World War I. Okay, so that's where we put you under. And after about 2 weeks in the Army, I kind of got to like it. This isn't bad, I was an outdoor guy, so it kind of fit in. I liked marches. I liked close order drill. I liked calisthenics. When I told the guys, Gaab is nuts. Did you ever hear him? He says he likes calisthenics. Yeah, he does. And I like camping out. Bivouac, it was called bivouac. Out, they got you in a little pup tent down in Texas. The sky is clear, beautiful skies. This is kind of nice. It's kind of like Boy Scout Jamboree, Boy, this is great. Till the 10th week. And by the way, as a machine gunner, you still trained with an M1 rifle, just in case they needed a rifleman and they didn't need a machine gunner. You know how to run it. So we fired the machine gun. My weapon was a 45 caliber, Colt 45. Because I carried the tripod. I was the #1 gunner. Tripod, 36 pounds. You grab that leg, throw it over your back, trail leg goes down, throw your arms over there, and then run with a 36-pound thing bouncing on your back. So I don't know how I mentioned. Why did I mention that? Oh, I know, because I made expert in rifle, in M1. I made expert with machine gun. I couldn't hit that wall with that 45. I don't know what was wrong. I just could not fire that. If my life depended on that 45, I'm done, because I can't use it. Week 10, we fall out, and the first sergeant, he always started us out. Well, soldiers, today we're going to, today we're going to have bayonet training. I remember a couple of World War I pictures with the bayonets, and that's not pretty. Put those babies on it. You're fighting with a sword, not a gun. You got a big sword. All right, so out we go, and there must have been 100 dummies out there. The dummies were burlap bag stuffed with straw, about this size. A burlap bag, round head. Your enemy's weapon was a 2x4 on two screen door springs that would go back and forth. That's the enemy that you practiced on. So we start off with some basic things here. We got to learn some basic things. First thing we're going to have to learn is the butt stroke. Pow! Right under the chin with that butt. Right under the chin. If that doesn't get him, the face smash. Boom! Put that butt right down in there. Now, I don't know what this guy's doing while I'm doing this butt stroking and everything else, but that was the first part. And I really didn't like that too much. Oh, geez. But then came the long thrust. Now, here's what you do with that long thrust. He gives here's you step forward and you push that out there, like pull that. First, you have to parry the thrust of the other guy. That 2x4 thing that was on the springs, that was his gun. Bam, you push that out, step back, long thrust. Get that baby right with the muzzle right up there. And make sure it's not on the sternum, make sure it's not on the rib because it glances off. Oh, jeez. Oh, great. And it just kind of chills you out when you think about it. Man, he was intense. Make sure you get that thing in there. And my speech is 3 main impressions I got in the Army. 3 great, memorable impressions. Here comes the first one. He said, now, when you get that long thrust, he said, be careful because sometimes you can't get it out. There's suction in there. The suction there holds it in. So make sure you turn that rifle, and that breaks that suction, and you can pull it out. And it was, now this sounds dumb, but it was like a light bulb over my head. 10 weeks. They're teaching us how to kill people. Sure, you're shooting a rifle. What did you think? You're shooting at the targets and everything, but it just didn't have impact on me. They were teaching us how to kill. But when he said, put that long thrust in there, twist it so it doesn't stay in there, and you break the vacuum, pull it back out, that was it. That stuck in my brain. They're teaching us how to kill. All right, we go through 12 weeks, get a week's furlough, go back home, and say goodbye to your parents. Kind of sad, because you knew going back as an infantryman, and my parents knew, and everybody else knew. You go back as an infantryman, and what did you say you were? I'm a machine gunner. Oh, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I'm a machine gunner. All right, so we go back. And now we're going to have 2 weeks of advanced training. It's like foxhole digging 102. We had 101. That's how to dig a special advanced training. First week back, fallout, first sergeant calls off 3 names. He said, get all your gear, report to battalion headquarters in 0800 today. And these guys are like, what? When you dismiss, get that baggage, get down there. Nobody knew why. He never said. Next day, they call off 3 more names. Same thing. Third day, they call off 3 more names. One of them is Gaab. Say, anybody know what this is? No. Just get your gear, get down there. So we get down there. It must have been about, I would guess about 25, 30. And they get on the old Army trucks, and away we go. Asking everybody, what is this? Where are we going? Well, I don't know. You'll find out when you get there. So we drove and drove. See, where we're driving. Of course, Texas is so damn big. Everything is big. We're driving around. Finally, we get into this really nice-looking town. And we're going to the kind of the outskirts of town, and there's a big gate with a big iron gate on there, and it says Texas A&M University. What's going on? Texas A&M University. We got in there, and that's when they told us, you guys are at ASTP. You know what my first thought was? I know what this is. This is Army. I know what this is. Bomb disposal training, or whatever that is, where there's a name for it, and I can't think what that name is. The soldiers who are responsible for going out and getting dead soldiers, bringing them in, identifying them, getting them ready for burial. I thought that's got to be either that or bomb disposal. Nope, you're going to go to college. That's why you're here. It's at Texas A&M. You're going to be here for 2 weeks, and we're going to test you. Every day you're going to go through a lot of tests, probably about 4 hours, but you got the other time off. And we're living in a dorm. Instead of 25 guys in there, 8 commodes, 8 showers, 25 guys. I'm in a room with one other guy. We got our whole room, 2 beds, 1 commode, 1 shower. Oh, God. I thought, even if this is only 2 weeks, if I flunk out, and I probably will, I just graduated from high school, not even college prep. So it took the 2 weeks. And, they had an indoor swimming pool, and we ate in a beautiful their dining room. So I thought, at least it was worth it. 2 weeks of really heaven. Published the list. And it was for, the testing was for medical doctors, dentists, engineers, scientists, chemists, mathematicians, that sort of thing. The whole idea was that somebody got the bright idea that if the war went on a long time, 1 week, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, that there would be a gap in the graduation of these professional people. And that was before women got in. There weren't many women chemists, there weren't many women engineers, there weren't hardly any. That we would not have any, so we'd have a 10-year period where we were not graduating any of these professional people that we need. So we're going to send them to college. Sounds pretty good to me, but it's a little wacky, but I'm here and I'm not digging foxholes and carrying that damn 36-pound tripod. Okay, so we went to, we got on a train from Texas, up we go, we were on that train all night long, get out and look at the station, Syracuse, whoa, Syracuse, New York. Get your stuff, and we get our stuff, and we're hiking up, it's called On the Hill. The university is the top of the hill. So we're walking up that hill with a barracks bag on there, 200 guys, maybe a little over, 220 maybe guys, barracks bags on, suntan, young. Of course, we were all handsome, as you'd imagine. And we're walking up there, and we got on this tree-lined street, big divide in the middle, 2 lanes on either side, elm trees. Remember when elm trees used to arch over those trees? We're going up under there. Beautiful. And the next thing we know, coming out of these houses, and sorority houses, are women. And they're coming out there and they're clapping and cheering and jumping around. There were no men on the campus, or I should say none. There were some, but they're not very many. And here comes 200 guys, good, strong American guys. Here they come. They're going to be right here. And we're going the same way. Oh, man, are we in heaven? This has got to be so. Oh, we're ecstatic. But we got into we didn't stay in a dorm. We stayed in a private house that was used for renting rooms out for students, which was fine. It was okay. But they told us. Now, that captain who was supposed to be our company commander, I guess, whatever he was, he says, before you get too excited about those girls you saw today, remember, you have to maintain a C average and not fail one course. Let me tell you something else. The average, this is a quarter, they're on the quarter system. The average for a quarter is 18 hours, or 15 hours is the average. You can take 18 hours if you get the dean's permission. You're going to take 20. Oh, 20, the average is 15. And you're going to go to class just like everybody else. You're now a student at Syracuse University. And if you're an engineer, you're going to be in physics, you're going to be in algebra, you're going to be in chemistry. You have to take English, you have to take history, you have to take phys ed. You're a regular student at Syracuse. Well, I thought, I don't know how long this is going to last, but it's 3 months. At least I can get 3 months out of this thing here, even if I flunk out big time. Well, we didn't. And we didn't flunk out. I didn't flunk out. Some guys did. I didn't. I'm still there. And the next thing we know, they said, well, you're going to be transferred. All you guys that are here, for whatever reason, never found out. Got on a train, we go west. Next thing we know, we get out and look at this. We're at the station. What's this station? Champaign, Illinois. The home of the University of Illinois. Wow, this is getting bigger and bigger. We stayed in a fraternity house this time, a beautiful, beautiful colonial 3-story In fact, it was right across from the stadium, and every time Ohio State plays Illinois and they pan that out, I can almost point, right there is where we were in that building. Went through that, and of course now it's Algebra 2, Chemistry 2, Physics 2, and a lot of these guys that were there, if you were a junior or a senior in college and you had a good draft board, you could finish your college out. So we had freshmen and sophomores that have been in this. They say, oh, I had Algebra 1, I had Chemistry 1, that's not, I'm thinking, oh, great, what am I going to do here? All right, so we struggle through another quarter, get to the end of the quarter, and now I am really in big trouble because we're in something deeper than I could handle. But I was struggling through it, thinking, I think this might be the end. It was the end of the program. At that time, the thing was canceled. No more ASTP unless you were in medicine. And if you were in medicine, believe it or not, they take you right through all 8 years on the government toll, but not engineers. So you're going to go back to whatever you were. What were you? I was a heavy weapons guy. You didn't ask you, they knew. On the train we go, and we're going and going and going and going. We're out now in the Mojave Desert. And here we are, go through the Mojave Desert, and it's desert. If you've ever been out there, it's desert. The train stops. Oh, I said, uh-oh, is there something wrong with the engine, something wrong with the track? No, it could be wrong. What was wrong was a whole parade of Army trucks pull right up alongside of that train. And he said, okay, guys, get on and load up those trucks. ASTP was loosey-goosey. That's when a fuel jacket was tan, not like those green ones with the bag pockets on and so forth. This was like, guys were bleaching them. They'd have white ones. They'd go and get officers' shirts, those dark green ones, not when we were in school, but on weekends when we were off on Saturday and Sunday. Guys had these white, fancy Garrison caps. Here we are out there in the desert. I'll never forget, one guy got off the train. He had a tennis racket. He was strapped to the side of his barracks bag. And all the guys in those truck drivers, I swear, they all looked like Willie and Joe. Remember Willie and Joe, Malden's characters that he drew? Somebody nod their head like you remember Willie and Joe. Oh, okay. Birds, rough-looking guys. And they're looking at us like, what the hell is this all about? Pile them on, get back, and they dumped us off at all these different camps or battalions, and then we went from battalion down to company. And I got dumped off with 11 other guys at I'm losing. We had stuff in between, but it's not that important. So I'm in Company M, 414th Infantry, 104th Division, the Timberwolf Division, night fighters. That's what they do. That's why we're called the Timberwolf Division, because our general likes night fighting. He thinks that's, okay. So we get on there. First 3-4 weeks, they were coming off of maneuvers. That's what they were on, desert maneuvers. That's why they all look so grungy and really beat. And so when we got in there, the first thing we found out was, hey, college boy, tomorrow morning you're on KP. College boy, you're on KP. College boys were on KP. All right, we go down there, and the next thing is the sergeant, who's the mess sergeant. He said, okay, college boy, you college boy? Yeah, college boy, come on over. I want to show you something. You probably didn't get this in college, but I'm going to show you. This is how you scrub out a GI can. You shave up that green soap in there, you get hot water, and you get this scrub brush, and you get down there and you get every bit of grease out of that thing, and that's it. And when you're done and that's shiny, you call me, and I want to check it. And if it isn't right, you're going to do it again. And by the way, there are 6 of these garbage cans lined up here for you. And that's how we started off. But it took about 2 weeks till they realized we were pretty good guys. We were pretty sharp guys. And we took this thing, nobody said anything. Nobody said, hey, don't call me college guy. And they took us into there, and we became one. Away we go, overseas. And we were in New York, got in New York, stayed there one night, got on a boat, and we were the first division to land directly in France. All the other divisions would go over and land in England and then go across the Channel. We landed in France because it was September. And D-Day was in June, so we were kind of trailing along behind, which we kept thinking, this is not bad. You know, God, that front line must be way over there. Way over is where we went pretty quickly. We're going east. Not fast, but we're finally catching up. Okay, guys, we're getting closer, closer, closer. Okay, here we go. We're up on the line. It's in Belgium now. And we're getting ready for our first combat. We were 2nd Battalion, 3rd Battalion was the backup. 2nd Battalion made the attack. 2nd Battalion is going to make the attack, night attack. The officers were getting us all ready. And you guys are behind them. And so as soon as they take that town, you rush in and set up a defensive line. And that's what machine guns were, probably for defense. And you have to understand over there, if you were there, you'll know, in Holland, and it's now Netherlands, and Holland, and Belgium, and Germany, the towns were all together. All the houses, the farmers, the barns were all there on the outskirts, and it's just open fields as far as you could see all around these nice little villages or towns. Flat farmland. Not like Ohio, when you drive out, there's a barn here and a barn there and a silo here. You know, it's all spread out. All open. All right, we now are up on the line. We got issued ammunition. That's the first time we got issued ammunition. And I took, I'll never forget, it was right in the, you walk in line, pick it up. Okay, it's 45 caliber clips. Give me 4. 4 clips. Christ, I couldn't hit that wall with a 45, but everybody had grenades hanging on there. Well, we're ready for combat, yeah. All right. That night, they're on the same latitude as we are. So they're not, and this was in September, or in October. So it's an October night, day, just like it is here. All right. Gets dark, about 5, 6 o'clock. We're back. Now we're behind maybe 1,000 feet from what 2nd Battalion was going to move out. Gets dark, away they go. All quiet. Oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. For 1 hour, nothing. Then we lost sight of them. They just kept, battalion, there's a lot of guys spread out. After about 1 hour, all of a sudden we hear, prick, 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 prick. What the hell is that? Prick, prick, prick. It sounds like a machine gun. Our machine guns, pop, 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 pop. You could count the rounds. Prick, prick, prick. Well, it was like these AK-47s now, automatic, just pull the trigger and those things just keep on firing. And that went on, I didn't look at my watch, but it seemed like it went on forever, probably an hour or two. Steady. Far as you could hear them down there, far as you could hear them over there. Holy smokes, this doesn't sound too good. Machine guns stop. We got through. They broke through. They're moving forward. Kaboom, 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 kaboom. Of course, they had those machine guns all set up. They all crisscrossed. That field of fire was completely covered with machine guns. And when those mortars and artillery fire started coming in there, that was all programmed. They didn't have to call back and say, give them the directions and give them the coordinates. They had that, okay, artillery, kaboom, kaboom. What the theory was, and what it worked pretty damn well, was you let these guys get about halfway, 3/4 of the way across that flat, open field. You open up with the machine guns, bam, you got to hit the ground. Machine guns were shooting about 3 to 4 feet above the ground. But if you got down flat, you could get under them pretty good. Now, you can't dig a foxhole. They never did teach us, how do you dig a foxhole when you're on your belly? We were always digging our foxholes. No. So that bombardment went on until, I'm guessing, 2 o'clock in the morning. Probably several hours, just steady, up and down there. Then quiet. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, quiet. Once in a while, a pop, 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 shot here, shot there, but it was, well, what happened? Did we go across? Did they come across? So we're starting to set up a defensive line, and it got dawn. And when it got dawn, the guys, we were there all spread out, Here they come back. No helmet, no weapon, arms in a sling, bandages on their head, just coming back, staggering back. And I kept saying, stay in a ditch, because we're all ready to go. And they're just looking at us, stay in a ditch. Well, stay in the ditch was get below ground level so the machine guns don't cut you down and the artillery shells are going over the top of you instead of blowing you out. So now we are really nervous. Obviously, we did not take this. This is our first encounter, our big night attack, and we didn't win. All right, us move up. We're going to set up a defensive line. So we go up to we're at the edge of this village, and there are these fields out there. This is the impression number 2. We went out there, and as far as I could see to the right, as far as I could see to the left, dead GIs all over. Grotesque, curled up. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know whether to cry. We didn't know what. Oh my God. There were, I don't know how many there were. I couldn't count. I didn't want to count. I didn't even want to count. And that's my vision number 2. That was burned into my cerebrum. Twist that gun so you can get that sucker out of there without it. And all these guys, I could see it as clear as a day out there. Okay, that was the second one. We go now, after about 2 weeks, we're experienced combat guys. We were shooting the machine gun, and we were moving up, and we were taking these villages one at a time. And took that, it's a city, really, Weschweiler, pretty good-sized city. This is all the other side of the Rhine River, west yet. We hadn't got to the Rhine River at all. And we took the city of Weschweiler, and it was the same thing, pretty good city. This is a city. Okay, we're sitting out there. Then we had same attack. Flat fields, they had all their machine guns and everything in place. Only this time now we knew better. So instead of starting off putting these guys, had them get halfway across, before we started, they just bombed those about where they should be. Those A-20 attack bombers, boom, boom, those 500-pounders are going up there. Our motors, so we softened them up pretty good. So when we make an attack now, they still had a few machine guns and they still killed GIs, but not like up there. So we take Eschweiler. And we're in this town, another good-sized town. And after we're in there, they set up these lines. If you're a machine gunner, you put your machine gun out on a street corner somewhere, cover that road, and if you're not on your gun, you'd have one guy on or two guys on. The rest of them you could sleep if it's possible. And we'd always go in the basement. That was a safe spot. If they bombed you and the artillery come in, the basement was the safest place. So we were down in the basement there. And the guys came down from upstairs. The guy said, hey, they got 3 German prisoners upstairs. They're interrogating them. Now, this is going to sound funny, but I never saw a German up close. The Germans I saw either were dead, and I didn't even see many of those, or scooting across the road 1,000 feet down or something. But they said they got 3 German, and you keep thinking that these German guys got to be mean-looking kind of guys. I got to go up there and see them. And they said, no, you stay. I know I got to go up there and see them. So I go up the steps, and here are 3 of them. And they go into a room, and that's an officer's interrogating them. There were 3 standing there. First guy looked to be about 40 years old, because the Germans were using 40 years old, 45-year-old, 15-year-old. We saw a German soldier with a gun, about 14 or 15 years old. So here's this guy. It was funny. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't going, oh, I'm going to go home. I don't have to go. But I could tell. He is saying, finally, I got out of this damn war. And I understand they take care of Americans take pretty good care of the prisoners. And you could just see he was just kind of relaxed. The second guy, he looked about 25 years old. And he was frowning. He was mad. He was angry. You could just tell. Just his body language was. You could tell. Why did I get captured in this? And he was just. The third guy was back there. He didn't have a helmet on, And I could see he's nervous, he's shaking. Why? He looks like he's about 17 or 18 years old, young. Probably just got in combat, but he was scared, afraid. And I look at him, damn. And he looks at me, we make eye contact. I'm about a meter away. We make eye contact. Now, when I had hair, it was kind of blonde. And when my eyes weren't bloodshot as they are now, they were blue. This guy's got blonde hair. He's got blue eyes. He's about my height. He's about my age, 18. I'm 20. We look alike. Look alike, but is this the guy I'm trying to kill? Is this the guy I got to twist the veil? He looks like me. And I swear, he was thinking the same thing. Is this the guy who's trying to kill me? He looks like me. And about that time, the MPs were up there. Hey, get the hell out of here. Get down that basement. So I went down that basement and told those guys up there about the third guy. And they're going, oh, yeah, sure. Gee, at this point, everybody was, So, I said, he sure looked like me. That was my third impression. Pull that bayonet out, see all these dead guys out there, and see this kid who looks like I do, and I'm trying to kill him. The whole thing kind of coalesced into I don't even know how to explain it. Like this, I now know what war is. I know what war is. Before that, I saw movies and I knew what we bombed and we did all this stuff, but this is a personal thing. We are at war, and this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Human beings trying to kill other human beings for what? Because they got a madman that's going crazy and doing all of this, or we can't agree. Why can't we, as adults, just sit down and we can figure this out, guys. We don't need to go to war. I think of every diplomat or guys that decide and declare war, if they could see the things that I saw in that little 3-month period of time, 4-month period of time, they wouldn't be so damn quick to say, let's get in there. Like one of these guys now, let's go in there and just bomb the hell out of them. Let's go in there and, hey, let's try to work things out somehow. But it doesn't seem to work, because it wasn't long after World War II ended, which I thought, well, certainly, First World War said the war to end all wars. Well, it didn't exactly. But this war had to be. The tragedies were so great. German cities, nothing there but chimneys and concrete sidewalks and steps going up and basements. Nothing else. Chimneys. Bombed right out. Okay, they're Germans and we were bombing them up. Cities the same, all that. We liberated a concentration camp and Nordhausen, and I saw personally when we got, because the Germans had all taken off, they knew we were coming. Here come these prisoners, black and white uniforms on, and they're hanging out on the gates and so forth. They were, oh God, here we are. They were running over there, opening the gates up. They came out, there were skeletons. How can these guys be alive? You've seen pictures of the concentration camps. Well, I saw them firsthand. They were skeletons. Just these things were hanging, rags were hanging on them, and they're begging us, mix us and full. So, oh boy, we're digging out our old, those candy bars that we got in K rations, those big old D bars. We're handing those out. Had anything, gum, anything, K rations? Yeah, I got a K ration. And pretty soon a captain came up. It's a doctor. He had the old medical simile. Stop it! Don't feed them. Stop it! Hey, how can you? Look at these poor guys. You'll kill them. They can't eat that. They can't digest that. You'll kill them. Don't feed them. We'll take care of them. We'll give them some soup, and don't give them a big chocolate bar. He'll die right on this. Well, he exaggerated. He'll die right on your tracks. So I saw all of that, and that's why it's still unbelievable that we carry out war. But if you see it, and we only had one World War guy The rest of you, I'm sure, are here because you were probably Korea or Vietnam or someplace, and you probably saw a hell of a lot more than I did. A lot worse than I did. Except that these three things stuck in my mind till today. Never was going to go out. And I had a lot of stories about World War II. Some are funny, some are not so funny. But these three things just stayed with me. If you have questions, I'll try to answer your questions, but that's it. Those are my three big impressions as an 18-year-old kid going into the Army from independence and coming out alive. Well, almost. I got a little nicked up in there, but other than that, was not too bad. Thank you very much. If you got questions, I'll take it.
How far into Germany did you get?
Well, I got wounded. Oh, here we go. Story number 2. No. I got wounded. Can I tell you the story how I got wounded?
Sure.
Well, we were in this bayonet attack, and I couldn't get that damn rifle out of him. No. We had taken a town called Minden, Germany. It was an industrial town, a big factory in there. Again, the factory is on the edge of town. Everything else out there is wide open. So we take this town. We got the old machine gun up, and we got the factory was on the edge of town. The roof was 2 stories. And the roof was all caved in. Big concrete floors were all caved in. Nothing in it. They were empty. So we set up there, put a machine gun on that corner, put a machine gun in the middle, machine gun on that, and we were the defensive line. And the infantry guys were down below. So we're sitting there the first night. Nothing happening. Nothing out there. No sound. No shooting. No anything. So it's again dark. Just like, again, around here. This is December. And we, back under one of these fallen roofs, we had these little Coleman stoves. You could pump them up, and you could heat water to make coffee or heat to do something. So we're back underneath. We got guys out there, and we're back underneath there, and sitting down, heating up water to make coffee, eating a couple of K rations, and my back is to the front. This is the front. We're looking. The Germans are out there. I'm sitting there. 8 of us are all sitting down there around that little stove. And I swear that the Germans couldn't see that. I know they said, "Well, you dummies, you got a stove burning back there, and it's dark." You know, a Tiger tank came up there, and he put one round all the way down at the end, and whew, wham. Whoosh, bam! And I said, "You know, when you've been doing this for a while, it takes one right under your ass to make you move." Pow! Right down the middle. You know, how dumb can you be? He bracketed us in, one down there, and that next one's coming in the middle. I got my back to the Germans. I'm sitting on my helmet, and that thing exploded somewhere in there, and it got 6 guys, killed 2, injured 4. Well, anyhow, that's it. So I was out of combat, went back to England, and they patched me back up, and then I came back and joined my outfit again. But I joined them. They just crossed the Rhine River, so I got them just as we crossed the Rhine River, and kept on going.
This was a regular tank shell that hit.
An 88. A Tiger tank, they shoot those 88 millimeters, it's about this big around. But we were so down, and they put them right through the window. And they can shoot those things like a rifle. They are so accurate. I can't believe that we were so dumb that we didn't know that when you put one on one end and one on the other, when it takes one right underneath your ass before you move, words to live by. And he killed 2 outright. Killed our section leader, staff sergeant, killed another guy, and wounded 4. But of the 4, there were 2 of us that could walk. The other 2 got down in the legs or something. They had to take them back on a. So that was an experience, all right.
The Tiger tank, or somebody got him.
Yeah. Yes.
You still call him a gun.
Do I what?
You call him a gun. But when I was in, you had to call it a rifle.
Or a piece. Yeah. Sometimes as you carry your piece, you have to piece. I'm saying gun because I'm talking to women who don't understand a piece and they don't understand it. No, I don't know why I said that, but you're right. That's what they did.
What we had to do was walk backwards. This is my rifle, this is my gun. This is for shooting, this is for fun.
We don't have to go into detail on that one, do we? You said repeat the questions. I think we all understand.
Anyway,
Yes.
you were very good to listen to, man, I'll tell you.
Where did
Another
you,
session with you.
yes, chew on it?
Yeah.
Where did you receive a bachelor's degree for teaching?
Kent State.
Okay, because you went to all those others, and I didn't know if one
Yeah,
of those.
Kent
did
State.
it.
On the GI Bill. Never intended to go to college. No Gaab had ever gone to college. I hadn't planned. I didn't take college preparatory courses. Of course, at that time, we knew we were going to go anywhere. Who's worrying about going to college?
So
But,
all those college
but a good old
courses
Uncle
transferred.
Sam took me through 4 years. Well, I don't know, that ASTP thing, I got 32 credit hours. So I came back out. I started off as a sophomore. Kent. Made my parents very proud. I got a kid going to college.
He got a master's in education administration in 1956.
Well, then, yes. Well, I went through, got my I got 2 bachelors, one in teaching and one in, I wanted to be, today I would have been a guy, an environmentalist. That's, back then they would call it conservation, you were in conservation. But then I found out that there weren't too many jobs in there, and somebody said, you talk pretty good. Why don't you become a school teacher? Which I did, because I love science and I love math. That's how it got me into that. That Army Alpha test, that was an IQ test, and that's how they picked the 250,000 guys that sent to college. That's how they picked us, on IQ. Who'd ever thunk it? Yeah, IQ.
He talks like you.
This gentleman also has 3 European battle stars, a Purple Heart, a Soldier's Medal, and a Silver Star.
And before you ask me, how did you get the Silver Star? No, I want to tell you how I got the Soldier's Medal. I'll bet you nobody here knows what the Soldier's Medal is for. Nobody. In our division, 12,000 guys, they only issued out 11 Soldier's Medals where the general pins it on you. Do you have time? Do I have time to do this or not?
Yes.
Okay. The war is nearing the end. We were on the west side of the Elbe River. The Russians were on the east side. We joined. We thought we were the first ones to join up with the Russians. And they said, no, some other division down the line did. But I still think we were first. But anyhow, we were there almost 2 weeks before the war actually ended. So it did end then. And after it did, you couldn't go across that bridge. They didn't. No, Russians didn't come over. We didn't go over there. They stayed far apart because the Germans kept saying, the Ruskies got you. The Ruskies, no Nazis, but they were going to have to fight Ruski. And they were kind of convincing us the way things were going. Don't tell me we got to keep going and fight Russians. All right, this is not the story. So we could do anything. We'd gone guard duty, but we could just killing time till it was time to do something. And so 3 of us are out taking a walk. Running out down by the river and walking along down there. And we looked down and there's a whole group of people on the riverbank. And you could see they were all kind of jumping around down there and jumping around. So we kind of walked down there. Most of them were women, and the men were old men, and they're running up and down there. So we finally went over and said, what's going on? Well, a little girl fell in the river, and her mother jumped in to get the little girl. And she got her and got her to somewhere where they could reach her, and they were pulling out the little girl when we got there. And then somebody in German said, look, here's Mama floating. There's a big river, and it was running fast. She's floating down. She couldn't swim. So these are all old people. They're all running on the shore. Give my buddy my wallet, take off my boots. I go in, and I pulled her out. So it's called valor, non-combative valor. Ta-da. So that's how I got one of a few medals. And when everybody sees that, or when everybody, how many see that, they all think, is that like the good conduct medal that all the guys got? No, it's not like the good conduct medal.
And the
Oh, well,
And the Silver Star?
one of those attacks across those open fields where our guys are down, my second gunner and we're ready to go out with our machine guns, and we're squatting down there, and boy, it's not good. And our lieutenant, and then it's quiet again. And my lieutenant says, we got to have a couple guys go out there and see how many guys are out there, how many guys are wounded. Go out there and take a look. Oh, swell. I need a couple of volunteers. Gaab, you and Barish. That was volunteer. Gaab, you go up this way, Barish, you go down. Get out there and see if you can tell me, are there still guys out there that are wounded and everything else? Long and short, pulled a few guys in, dragged them in and got them out. That's how I got that one. Okay. Thank you. Oh,
Our traditional little Medina thank you.
well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hang in there.
What can you say after a story like that? Thank you for taking us with you.
Bring me back again. I got a couple more for you.
Do you? I'll
Yeah.
bet you do. I'll just bet you do.
Not quite as dramatic as this, but they're interesting.
Yeah.
No, I mean it.
Being a teacher, have you written these down?
Being a teacher, have you written these down?
Where have what was the question again?
Since you're a teacher and you're an educator
Yeah.
and you're a writer, have you written these down?
You better.
Not really, no.
Oh, dear.
By the way, I write a column in the Independence newsletter, and I've been doing it for 11 years, and I ended, the June issue was the last one that I wrote. And we have it in a book. We have a book 1, the first 70 articles, book 2, the last 105, and they're on sale. I don't have a book, so I'm not going to hawk this book. And come to Independence Home Day, you can buy one. But they're all town stories, local, historical, about little dinky independence, but stories. No, on this here, the only thing, I did give the same talk at Akron Roundtable, and they did the same thing. So I thought, well, somewhere it's preserved. So no, I didn't write them down.
Well, I think it's high time you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, now that I don't write this column again, but I'll have to confess.
That frees
No,
up your
no,
time.
wait, I got to confess. I don't write this column any longer. This is a tough confession.
You have time to write two.
Because I used to write those things. I'd think about the article about a week ahead of time. Okay, I think this is pretty good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to include that. All mental. Sit down. I got a roll top desk. Sit down there with my yellow pad and my ballpoint pen, and I'd write them out. And 2 hours later, after I revised them because I didn't type, I didn't have a computer, I had to write them out on a legal pad. I would send them down. 2 hours, maybe 3, and it was gone. The last couple of years, I'm thinking, okay, first of all, it's hard to come up with something that's historical. I didn't write political, I didn't write religious, I didn't write the current events. It was just all something. When I was a kid, we had the Chestnut Road Gang. There were 7 guys, they all lived in the same area, and we were called the Chestnut Road Gang, and I must have used them about 14 or 15 times telling stories. And I was running out of material. That was the first. I was running out of material, and I was running out of brains. My brain is kind of going into tapioca. Now, everybody has a memory problem. Everybody, you can't remember names, you can't remember. Yeah, I know, everybody does that. By the way, if you haven't figured out from when I graduated from high school how old I am, I'm 92. So, at 92, your brain does get scrambled up. And so now, when I would write them the last year or so, instead of 2 hours or 3, 5, rewrite. Same thing. I know the word I want to use. Boy, there's a word that fits right there. what is that word? I can't think of that word. Oh, God, what is that word? Oak tree. Oh, yeah, oak tree or some dumb thing. And it would come to me. It's like go to bed and you get up and you can think of whatever it was you forgot the day before. But I was struggling. So I finally had to admit to him, I said, when I wrote, I kept saying, no, keep going. I said, I'm going, but my brain isn't keeping up with me. Yes?
That word thing hits a long time before 92, I can tell you. That word thing where you can't find your words, that happens a long time before you're...
You heard that question. It happens a long time before you're 92. It happened to me at 84 or 82. It didn't just happen in the last year or so. But it was a gradual thing, and I could sense, I just knew that it was getting tougher and tougher and tougher. But so it's a pleasure to be out here in Medina. And
Well, we are putting these things on the web. There's a way to get at them. So that's happening.
Good.
You will get a DVD.
Oh.
There's our Dale back there. Look at him. Isn't he wonderful?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he is. And speaking of the Akron Roundtable, that's the Fairlawn World War II, Korea, Vietnam Roundtable. And there's our videoed also. And they go to the University of Akron archives, is where their things are preserved. Ours are preserved here at the library and on the web. So you are being preserved.
Yeah, they did. And shortly to be really preserved when they. No, that's. Okay. Well, I guess I'll get a copy of this, the DVD. Good, because I got the one from Akron, and they were selling them.
They do that. They do that too. Yeah.
No, they were selling them, and a friend of mine he's the guy that got me down there. He was going to all of them. After about a year, he said, "I got to tell you something. You have the highest number of sales on your speech." Why am I saying this? I sound like a blackguard. I am a braggart, I guess. But so, anyhow, maybe I'll come back and see you guys sometime shortly, if it's not totally tapioca.